A man wanted in connection with the deadly shooting of an Alabama A&M University student now in custody. It's where we start. I'm Kenesha Dees. This comes after a massive manhunt by multiple law enforcement agencies. Police say 20-year-old Ahmad Barney was arrested this afternoon. He's accused of murdering 19-year-old Nadiya Perkins, who was found dead.
What if the last morning of your life looked completely normal? You woke up, maybe you checked your phone, maybe you thought about class, maybe you smiled at something small. That was Nadiya Perkins on March 4th, 2026. 19 years old, a freshman, a daughter, a girl with her whole life sitting right in front of her. And by 9 o'clock that morning, she was gone. This is the kind of story that stops you mid-scroll, not because it's shocking in a way that feels distant or unreal, but because it feels so close to home. A college girl, an apartment, a regular Wednesday morning, and a killer who, according to police, was someone she already knew. If you're new here, welcome to Shadow Crime. If you've been rocking with us for a while, you already know we don't just read you headlines. We sit with these stories. We ask the questions that don't always get answered. So before we go any further, if this is your first time here, hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss when we drop a new case. This community is growing, and we want you in it. Now let's get into it. Nadia Diana Elise Perkins was from Montgomery, Alabama. She had made the move to Huntsville to study criminal justice at Alabama A&M University. Let that sink in for a second. Criminal justice. She was studying a field built around protecting people, understanding crime, seeking justice. And somehow, she became the very person who needed that justice most. People who knew Nadia describe her as someone full of purpose. Her Aunt Monica Ridgway said it plainly and painfully. She said Nadia had purpose written all over her. That's not just a grieving family member searching for words. That's someone who watched this girl grow up and saw something real in her, something that was supposed to last a long time. She was 19. Freshman year, that stage of life where everything is new and slightly terrifying and exciting all at once. New city, new campus, new people, new freedom. Most of us remember that feeling. The first time you're really on your own. The first time the world feels like it belongs to you. Nadia was right in the middle of all of that. And on the morning of March 4th, 2026, Huntsville Police received a shots fired call. The location was the Candlewood Apartments, sitting off Julia Street and University Drive. Officers arrived and began checking the area. It was bystanders, regular people standing nearby, who directed police to a specific building. When officers got to that apartment, they found Nadia. She had been shot. She did not survive. The Madison County coroner, Dr. Tyler Berryhill, confirmed what no one wanted to confirm. Gunshot wound. Homicide. A 19-year-old girl who was supposed to be in class, who was supposed to be building her future, was instead at the center of a crime scene.
A man wanted in connection with the deadly shooting of an Alabama A&M University student now in custody. It's where we start. I'm Kenesha Dees. This comes after a massive manhunt by multiple law enforcement agencies. Police say 20-year-old Ahmad Barney was arrested this afternoon. He's accused of murdering 19-year-old Nadiya Perkins, who was found dead Wednesday morning in an apartment on Julia Street. Earlier today, HPD was called to the area of Jordan Road and Shields Road around 10:30 this morning after receiving information that Barney was in the area. After an hours-long multi-agency manhunt, he was found at the Huntsville Place student apartments on Century Street, all the way across Huntsville. Valentina Chalala now joins us live. She's near the area where officers spent hours searching earlier today. Valentina, how did investigators eventually track the suspect down?
For much of the afternoon, officers flooded the area of Jordan Street and Shield Street after learning the dangerous suspect may have been hiding in the woods. Police used canines, drones, and multiple units to search the area in an attempt to pinpoint his exact location. Police say Barney ran away, prompting officers to set up a large perimeter in the area. As a precaution, several Madison County schools were placed on secure status while officers worked to locate the suspect. Sergeant Chris Jackson says hot temperatures made it difficult for drones using thermal technology to pick up a clear signal.
The drones were very effective. The most effective thing that they are is they can give you good indications that he's not in a large area. so that you're able to narrow it down. It's actually a perfect example of when law enforcement, the partnership between law enforcement and the community. The tip that gave us, we got a 911 call after asking the community, giving his name, giving his photo, and urging those that know of his location to call 911. A tip came in alerting us of that location.
Jackson says Barney and the victim were believed to have been in a domestic relationship. A tip later led police to a home right here on Century Street, where he was taken into custody just after 2 o'clock without incident. Barney now faces a murder charge in connection with Nadiya Perkins' death, and investigators are continuing to work to find out exactly what led up to the shooting. Live in Huntsville, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
Now here is where things start to shift. Because the moment police confirmed this was a homicide, the question on everybody's mind was the same. Who did this? And more importantly, why? Investigators moved quickly. Within a short period of time, they had a name: Ahmad Khalil Barney, 20 years old, just 1 year older than Nadia. And here's the part that makes your stomach drop a little. Police said they believed there was a qualifying relationship between Barney and Perkins. Now, for those of you who might not be familiar with that term, qualified relationship is legal language. It is the kind of language law enforcement uses when two people share a personal connection that goes beyond just knowing each other in passing. We are talking about the kind of relationship that carries emotional weight, the kind that, when it turns dark, turns devastatingly dark. Think about that for a moment. This was not a random attack. This was not a stranger who wandered in off the street. This was someone Nadia knew, someone she may have trusted, someone who may have had access to her space, her time, her life. And that right there is one of the most painful realities in cases like this. Sometimes the danger does not come from the outside. Sometimes it comes from someone already inside your world. Now I want you to really picture this. You are a 19-year-old girl, first year college, brand new chapter, and the very person who may have been part of your personal life is now being named as the one who took everything from you. That is a level of betrayal that goes beyond words. A murder warrant was issued for Ahmad Khalil Barney. Police put out his description immediately. 6 feet tall, small afro, last seen dressed in all black with black slides. They were clear about one thing: do not approach this man. He is armed and dangerous. And that warning was serious because what followed was one of the most intense manhunts Huntsville had seen in a while. 2 days passed. March 6th rolls around, and law enforcement gets a tip. Barney had been spotted in the area of Jordan Road and Shields Road. Officers moved in to locate him, and the moment he realized police were closing in, he ran. He fled directly into a wooded area. And now you have got K-9 units on the ground, drones in the air, SWAT teams pushing through trees, the U.S. Marshals Gulf Coast Regional Fugitive Task Force involved, the Madison County Sheriff's Office, even the Alabama A&M University Police Department joined the search. This was not a small operation. This was every available resource being thrown at one man. And because of how close this manhunt was to residential areas, 5 local schools were placed on secure perimeter. Think about that ripple effect. One act of violence, and suddenly parents are panicking. Children are locked inside classrooms. Entire neighborhoods are holding their breath.
And now we're hearing from the parents of the Alabama A&M student found shot to death this week. Today, Huntsville police arrested the man accused of killing her.
When I spoke with them today, they told me they were shocked to hear the news, but they'll always carry the love she shared with everyone she met.
She was loved by so many people. She did not deserve this.
Joe and Michelle Jackson described their daughter Nadia as a ball of sunshine who always tried to see the best in everyone. The baby of the bunch, she was a cheerleader in high school and loved to sing and dance.
She always tried to look out for the best.
The Alabama A&M freshman was a criminal justice major who excelled in the classroom.
Nominated for Phenomenal Young Scholar Award last year. She had such, so many different accolades, academically, socially.
Her parents tell me that the last time they talked to Nadia was Tuesday about a test. They recall their conversation was completely ordinary. They say they never could have imagined the news they would get the next day.
She was telling me she was aggravated about the test and
the computer kept glitching.
Yeah, so I'm like, can you just cut the computer off? And she was like, I tried all of it. So it just ain't nothing working. I'm just frustrated. I said, well, let me call you back.
Wednesday morning, they found out about her death over the phone from Huntsville Police, family, and friends of Nadia. They tell me they are relieved that the suspect, Ahmad Barney, is behind bars tonight. They say they knew their daughter had been romantically involved with him.
We knew of him because she called us about him. They've been talking for about a couple weeks.
Months.
Right now, they're leaning on their faith to give them the strength to face this heartbreaking loss.
It's still hard, but, we have to lean on God. We have to just know that His will is being done, and we just trust Him.
Her parents are encouraging women to watch for warning signs in relationships.
My speech to any young lady now is like, I don't care who you talking to as a friend or boyfriend, young ladies and young men, introduce them to somebody. Introduce them to somebody. Let somebody lay eyes on who you're talking to. Let somebody talk to whoever you're talking to at that moment.
And we are definitely praying for Nadia's family tonight. Funeral arrangements for Nadia will take place next Saturday at 11 a.m. at True Divine Baptist Church in Montgomery. Alabama A&M says she will be honored during the campus memorial service that will take place later this year.
Tonight we've learned that Barney was indicted in December for receiving a stolen gun. Huntsville police investigators tell us he and Perkins were in a domestic relationship, but right now they are not sure what his motive was for the shooting. Police had spent all day searching with drones and canines near Jordan and Shields roads across town, but had come up empty.
Then HPD tells us they got a tip, which led to them finding and arresting Barney. Sergeant Chris Jackson says he's thankful for the help from the community that ended the manhunt.
Our next step in this, now that he's been arrested, he's been booked in, is justice for Nadia, the Perkins family. Right. They have a 19-year-old girl that lost her life to a tragic incident and holding him accountable. So the next part of this is working with the Madison County District Attorney's Office and providing the evidence that they need to hold him accountable for the actions that he did.
Sergeant Jackson says Barney will be charged with murder.
So now the whole city is watching. Schools on lockdown, drones overhead, officers combing through woods. And somewhere in the middle of all of that tension, a tip comes in, a single piece of information that changes everything. Someone pointed law enforcement toward a home on Century Street, and that is exactly where they found him. Ahmad Khalil Barney was taken into custody on March 6, 2026, around 2 in the afternoon. No dramatic standoff, no final chase. He was arrested without incident. And I want you to sit with that for a second. 2 days. Nadia had only been gone 2 days before the man accused of killing her was in handcuffs. For some families in true crime cases, justice takes years. Sometimes it never comes at all. But for the Perkins family, at least a first step happened fast. He was found. He was caught. He was booked. Huntsville Police Sergeant Chris Jackson stood before cameras and said something that stuck with a lot of people. He said their next step now that Barney is in custody is justice for the Perkins family. He said they have a 19-year-old girl who lost her life to a tragic incident, and that holding him accountable is exactly what they are focused on, simple words. But when you think about who those words are for, when you think about Nadia's mother, her father, her Aunt Monica, who called her purposeful, those words carry an enormous amount of weight. Alabama A&M University President Daniel K. Wims also released a statement. He said a member of their university family had been tragically killed and extended the deepest sympathy to everyone who knew her. He ended with the words bulldog strong, because that is what you do when something unthinkable happens to your community. You hold each other. You grieve together. You keep going even when it feels impossible. But here is what we still do not know, and this is the part that should keep you thinking long after this video ends. We do not have an official motive. We do not know exactly what happened inside that apartment on the morning of March 4th. We do not know what was said, what was felt, what broke down between two people who apparently knew each other well enough for police to use the words qualified relationship. Those answers are still coming. The investigation is still open. The courts have not spoken yet. And that brings us to the questions that I really want to leave with you today, because this is what shadow crime is really about. It is not just about the facts. It is about what the facts make us feel and think. How many young women are currently in situations that look normal on the outside, but are quietly dangerous on the inside? How many people around them can see something is wrong, but do not know how to step in? And what does it say about us as a society when a 19-year-old girl studying criminal justice cannot be protected from the very thing she was learning to fight against? Nadiya Perkins had purpose written all over her. Those words are going to stay with me. I hope they stay with you too. If this case moved you, if it made you think, if it made you want to do something, start by sharing this video. Let more people know her name. Let more people ask these questions. And if you're not already part of the Shadow Crime family, subscribe right now, hit the like button, and click that bell so you're always the first to know when we cover a new case. We will be back with more. Until then, stay aware, stay safe, and never stop asking why.